Peace, family. What's going on? It's Chi Vital, and I'm back with another tool for your toolkit. I want to talk to you about expansion in a whole nother dimension. So I'm just gonna pull up right here for a minute. How you doing? Where you tuning in from? What's up, HOC? What's up, RBL, Dark Lordism family, J Gang, and Fairy Gang. It's a lot of gang activity. Alright, so y'all know I'm gonna come from this intimate space with y'all. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clearly. I need to switch my gear here. Give me just a second. Alright, cool. I gotta leave this AC on so I don't cook while I'm giving y'all some sauce. Alright, make sure when you jump on, you like and share this video. Let's talk about expansion in the depths of your intimacy. Now, I know everyone is excited about finally learning about Shiva. And it's so easy, goddesses, to get wrapped up in the anticipation of the Shiva energy. And it's understood that the lingam can generate a very necessary heat for the Shakti, right? I wonder to myself, how many of you have had the experience of, thank you, Bias, of having your beloved lay next to you and begin to shake? Any ones in the chat? Having your beloved lay next to you and begin to shake. There are moments where we shake, and they are all connected to the response to that energy of what is death. What is the ending? What is the losing connection with what is known as reality? The orgasmic outcome is a little death. The energy that you get to experience when you're doing it right, it's not about striving for this external object and objectifying this piece to go inside and activate parts of yourself, but it is a meeting with death. And what does that have to do with expansion? Expansion, a lot of times we get into it, it's not a commercial, we get into it with this idea of going like this, like a starburst. Out. And at this time, where there's so much going on out here, there's a shallowness to what's going on here. And in order to experience the depths of what Shiva brings, The expansion has to go all the way down into the root where life begins, and it's at death. Shiva is known to spend much of his time in that space. Okay? And so before everyone gets all hot and bothered and distracted by what that means, what that's supposed to feel like, not what it's supposed to feel like, open yourself to the depths of the intimacy and being able to see deeply into yourself and start to have conversations with the pieces of yourself that have died. Every time we grow, every time we realize, oh, I understand, as we grow in our understanding of things, there is this death that occurs, this transformation that helps to expand your ability to understand. Okay? There's so much information that is going to come at you, and you will not get it the first time. You just won't. I've observed so many of you who managed to stick around to learning the Sri Yantra like 3 times already. And only the ones that have stuck around have managed to realize there's even more to discover. There's even more to discover. There's even more to discover. And while we're in this vortex of extreme communication on the levels of our emotions, it's important not to lose that lesson that the depth of all things is where the richness of your essence occurs. All of my entrepreneurs know that on the surface level, where there's a storefront and there's a product or a service that's being offered, that the only way for that system to operate and to reach the shores across the world is to continue to study, to learn, and to gain depth of knowledge of how something is done. And the same goes within your intimate relationships. Okay? You can spend a lot of time on the surface of learning about someone that you're close to. You can spend a lot of time even getting to 2nd layer, 3rd layer. But while that's happening and you all are evolving, there's going to be opportunities for you to gain more depth in your intimacy, where things are revealed. And those things are revealed through communication, through fearless, loving communication. There cannot be love in the midst of fear. What you fear to express in intimacy creates a huge void and gap for the strength of your relationships to build on. Does this make sense to you? Are you getting the correlation between your experience with just the tip of the iceberg with Shiva, with the lessons you've been exposed to with your Sri Yantra work, all that's happening within yourselves, and how you're opening up in your relationships, being in your quarantine, being in the same space, some of you, for more time than you've ever been face to face. Learning now how to communicate face to face. And sometimes now learning how to communicate via text and phone and video instead of being in each other's company. All of these things are challenging you to strengthen your ability to expand in depth. Because a lot of times we measure ourselves this way, and this is a time where we are expanding ourselves this way. We are going higher and we're digging deeper. I'm going to check the comments and see if there's any questions here. Jade, you said you feel so drained from the Sri Yantra work and the para cleanse. You know, that feeling of being drained, especially during Sri Yantra work and you're cleansing at the same time, some of you are going to literally just feel sick because those parts of you are dying and they're rotten and it's coming up and you gotta feel it. So hold tight, breathe, drink water, release. Hold tight, breathe, drink more water, and release. All right? Yes, the gut churn is serious. But listen more deeply. Listen more deeply. A lot of us are just simply conditioned to want the answer right now. Want the first thing that arises. And we have to stop being monkeys. Being monkeys over a banana. Like, you're not that. You're a human. You're a human being. And you have the capacity to be conscious of yourself and to be conscious of the ability to ignite and arrive at the God within yourself. That's what separates you. Or simply just be an animal. And if you're not simply going to be an animal, then take the opportunity, the privilege, the conscious awareness to apply the lessons to gaining more depth to your knowing of who you are. Something is bad in my room. Yeah. When you're in a deep, deep sleep, I mean, how do you really know you're breathing? You're not aware of it. It's just happening. But even in the midst of gasping for air, it should leave you with an appreciation for every next breath that comes after that. All right? So there'll be more lessons on how to deepen your intimacy for those of you who are paid members. But I'll continue to plant the seeds of self-discovery here for your own personal self-development. All right? I love y'all. Peace and bliss. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday and expansion within.